G'day guys, how's it going? I'm Aaron Whitnall, this is ACWSport, and round 3 of the FA Cup did not disappoint. We had upsets and some absolutely stunning goals, and even a dream debut in there as well. So, let's get cracking with my round 3 review of the 2017-2018 FA Cup, starting with the biggest shock of the round. The holders Arsenal have been knocked out by Nottingham Forest, and in some style as well. But the reason why this is the biggest shock, obviously, it's not just the fact Arsenal are the current holders. It's the fact that in 3 of the last 4 seasons, Arsenal have won and lifted the FA Cup at Wembley. It's actually the first time they've been knocked out at this stage of the tournament since 1996. And it's the first time under Arsene Wenger that they've been knocked out at this stage of the FA Cup as well. And it's a real kind of baffling decision for me, the way Wenger lined his team up, because you would have thought they'd be taking this competition a lot more seriously than he kind of proved to in this game when you consider that Man City are running away with the Premier League. I don't think Arsenal are going to get top 4 based on the way they're playing, because I think Tottenham and Liverpool are better than them, simply. Alright, they are in the semi-finals of the Carabao Cup, and they could win the Europa League. So they could have got a nice little treble there, but you would have thought this could have been like the biggest trophy they could have lifted. So, yeah, a bit of a baffling decision for me for Wenger to not play a stronger lineup than he did. But you've got to give credit to Nottingham Forest. They were absolutely brilliant in this game, as awful as Arsenal were, who were very sloppy at the back and exploited for pace in defence by Nottingham Forest brilliantly. The thing that I love the most about this Forest win is the fact that 5 of the players that started actually all came from their academy, which was absolutely brilliant to see. But yeah, I mean, when you look at the way that the goals were scored, you've got to question what Arsenal were doing in defence. I mean, especially for the first goal, Powell's free kick was a great delivery, but when you look at Lehigh, the way he just ran across the front of the defence, no one tracked him, no one followed him. Free header right in front of the goalkeeper to give Forest the lead. All right, Mertesacker did pull Arsenal back into the game, but, I mean, this comes probably the main kind of talking point from this game, because Lehigh's second goal, bear in mind he's a full-back as well, was simply stunning. Arsenal, the clearance was okay, the clearing header, but the fact Lehigh was able to bring it down on the edge of the box, volley it into the far top corner, Spina had absolutely no chance. It was wonderful to watch, and a definite contender for goal of the round, without a shadow of a doubt, up there with Jesse Lingard's goal that we'll get onto a little bit later on. As for Forest penalties, they were both definite penalties. However, their second penalty shouldn't have stood because it was a double touch. But for me, that doesn't really matter, because for me the game was won by then anyway, because Arsenal was so poor. But yeah, real blow for Arsenal. But this is what the FA Cup is all about, that real magic. And yeah, it's great to see the first major giant killing of the tournament so early on. There was also another upset as Coventry beat Stoke as well. Now, this is quite a sad defeat, because it meant that Mark Hughes was actually sacked after the game as Stoke's manager. As we know, Stoke have been struggling for a while. This was Mark Hughes' 200th game in charge of Stoke, and sadly they've decided to part company with him. This was a fairly big upset as well, when you consider that Stoke were 53 league places above Coventry, as things currently stand. So yeah, it is a real shame. But Willis, he gave Coventry the lead through his first goal in a year, and his first ever FA Cup goal as well. So nice little memento for him. He then gave away a penalty to Charlie Adam, who converted for Stoke, and that was his first goal for Stoke in a year as well. So a couple of little milestones for those players there, breaking their goal droughts. But then Grimmer, he popped up with the winner not long after Stoke had actually levelled it up. Butland will be disappointed with the way he conceded the goal. I think he could have done better on the shot, and I think watching the replays as well, a lot of the pundits picked up on that as well. But that just kind of sums up the way Stoke are at the moment. Nothing seems to be going for them. Even their best players, sadly, are making mistakes. But, Grimmer, he loves an FA Cup winner. He also scored the winner for Shrewsbury when they upset Sheffield Wednesday 2 years ago now in the 4th round. But, yeah, bitter defeat for Stoke. Fantastic win for Coventry when you consider everything that club's been through. But, yeah, it's just great to see. So that was the other kind of major Premier League upset. There was one other kind of major upset, but that came more from a championship-level team, and that was that Newport, who are mid-table in League 2, beat Leeds United, who are 6th in the Championship. Coming from behind as well, they actually won the game through a last-minute header, from their top goal scorer, Mikulski, and it was wonderful to watch the highlights, the way the ground erupted. But Leeds will be bitterly disappointed. They have to get a promotion place now, because obviously, their cup run is over so early, but all the pressure will be on the league. And obviously, if they get a playoff place and they get up to the Premier League, everyone will forget about this, but it's key that they do that. Now on to some of the bigger games of the round. Firstly, with the first game of the round, Liverpool versus Everton at Anfield, the Merseyside derby, and it was a real fiery game. Not necessarily the best game in terms of play, but a very fiery game. Now for me, when Liverpool took the lead through James Milner's penalty, it was actually a bit of a soft penalty. I know Lallana was pulled, but I don't really think he was pulled back that much for him to go down in the way that he did. Either way, the referee gave it, Liverpool took the lead. From there, Everton actually built up a bit more from there. Liverpool didn't necessarily deserve the lead for me. Like I said, there wasn't really too much classy play from either side, really, in this game. But obviously, the big fire point came when Holgate pushed Firmino into the crowd. Now, for me, he should have seen red for that because it was very dangerous play. Couldn't have just hurt Firmino. It could have also hurt people in the crowd as well. But it's going to be really interesting to see what the FA's investigation into this comes up with. Because as we know, when Firmino got back onto the pitch, he clearly said something to Holgate that caused him to react very angrily right in front of the referee, even shoved the ref as well, which I'm surprised he didn't get a card for. It's going to be interesting to see if there was anything more in that, because the reaction that came from the players suggests that there was. But anyway, the game continued 11v11, which is obviously good to see. Everton got themselves level thanks to a wonderful finish from Gylfi Sigurdsson following a wonderful counter-attack from a Liverpool corner as well. But then in the dying moments of the game, the £75 million man himself, Virgil van Dijk, came up for a corner, slept over everyone, scored a beautiful header to give Liverpool the 2-1 win and to send them through to the fourth round of the FA Cup. Dream debut for Van Dijk. As we know, a lot of pressure on him, costing that much money. But to score the winner in a derby in the dying moment in an FA Cup tie at the Kop end as well, doesn't really get much better for that. So you do have to be happy for him there. But big win for Liverpool. And let's see how far they can go under Klopp. He'll be looking for his first piece of silverware as Liverpool manager. Then on to another all-Premier League tie. Manchester City versus Burnley. Now, this game, it ended up 4-1. And City got 2 goals later on from Sane and Bernardo Silva. But up until 56 minutes, Burnley were exceptional. And their tactics were working against Manchester City because City hadn't actually had a shot on target in the first 56 minutes, which shows that Dyche's tactical work is second to none, really, in the Premier League. And you do have to wonder, if he was with a stronger lineup, how good could Sean Dyche's sides be? But, in terms of Burnley in the first half, they were exceptional. Ashley Barnes gave them the lead. Wonderful finish on the half volley after ball bubbled up a little bit. Following John Stones' mistake, John Stones looking a little bit rusty there when he went to clear the ball. But even so, the way City came back into the game was exceptional. True Pep style as well. Wonderful play between Aguero and Gundogan for City's first 2 goals. Only 93 seconds between Burnley being 1-0 up and then City going 2-1 up because there are only 93 seconds, between City's 2 goals. The free kick, first of all, the referee doesn't have to blow the whistle for a free kick to be taken. So Burnley, they'll be disappointed that they weren't more aware, but you have to give the credit to Gundogan and Aguero. They were exceptional with how quickly they got this free kick taken. Gundogan's pass, Aguero's finish, City were level. And then, like I said, 93 seconds later, Gundogan produced a wonderful back heel, which Aguero finished off after latching onto. And City had turned the game around. And from there, it didn't really look like Burnley were going to get back in the game. And City's dream of a quadruple continues. On the other side of Manchester on Friday night, Manchester United, they beat Derby 2-0 at Old Trafford. This was a fairly comfortable game, really. United didn't really need to get out of third gear. It should have been more because Rashford hit the woodwork twice. United came close on a couple of other occasions. But, you've got to give credit to the man of the moment, Messi Lingard. Only joking, of course, Jesse Lingard. He produced a stunning strike in the 84th minute to pretty much win the game for United. His goal, along with Lehigh's goal against Arsenal, were the 2 best goals of the round for me. So comment below, let me know which goal did you think was better. And then obviously United then wrapped it up into stoppage time, and Romelu Lukaku scored on his return following being out for a couple of games with an injury. Massive goal for him. Good counter-attack from United as well, but massive goal for him because, as we know, he started the season so well. He's had some struggles in recent months, but to start the year, his first game of the year with a goal is massive, and hopefully that will give him the confidence he needs to just carry on. Good win for United. They're through to the fourth round, where they will face Yeovil the lowest ranked team left in the competition, which is an exciting tie in itself. And it'll be at Yeovil as well. So it'll be interesting to see what the likes of Pogba and Lukaku make of Yeovil. Tottenham, they had a very comfortable 3-0 win over AFC Wimbledon. Not really too much to talk about in the game. The goals were fairly standard, really. Harry Kane got his first 2 goals of 2018 because this was the first game in which he played. As well as that, Jan Vertonghen, he also picked up his first goal. Now, this was actually Vertonghen's first goal, and it was a good strike as well. His first goal since 2013, which is unbelievable when you consider how big a presence Vertonghen is within the Premier League and, of course, the Spurs starting lineup. I would have thought he would have scored more than that. But yeah, big goal for Vertonghen, comfortable win for Spurs. They're through to the 4th round of the FA Cup. Then we get on to some of the more duller games. I say duller games, but you know, Bournemouth and Wigan, that was a 2-2 game. That was a 2-2 draw. That was an exciting game because, as we know, Wigan, they took a 2-0 lead, top of League 2. Bournemouth, they seem to not want to take the FA Cup seriously. They were dumped up by Millwall at this stage last year for not taking it seriously, starting a weakened team. Started a weakened team against Wigan. They went 2-0 down. Will Griggs on fire. Obviously, Will Grigg giving Wigan the lead. But, you know, credit to Bournemouth. They brought on some substitutes, got themselves back in the game. And hopefully Eddie Howe will take the repeat a bit more seriously than he took this game. Because I think it'd be good to see Bournemouth go on a good cup run. West Brom, they picked up their first win in all competitions since August as they beat Exeter 2-0. Bit of a standard nothing game, really. Rondon and Rodriguez getting on the score sheet for West Brom in that game. And then into the kind of proper dull games. Chelsea versus Norwich, 0-0 draw at Norwich. Not really too much to talk about from this game. I think Chelsea will win the repeat and they'll go through to the 4th round, no problems. But I think they'll be disappointed that they've added another fixture when you consider how much Conte moans about fixtures anyway. Fleetwood versus Leicester, another 0-0 draw. But it's good to see a team like Fleetwood get a repeat at Leicester as well. They'll take a big fan base up with them. And obviously it's a good payday. And that's what I like about the FA Cup, the fact that some of the smaller teams, they do get good paydays so they can keep the clubs going and keep them, you know, improving constantly. And, you know, Fleetwood are going to get that when they travel to Leicester. They were very unlucky to not win this, though, because obviously they hit the post in the dying moments. It actually hit the post, came back out, hit the goalkeeper, hit the post again, and then the goalkeeper caught it in his hand. So, you know, they were incredibly unlucky not to win this game. But hopefully they'll give it their all in the replay. But I do think Leicester will sneak through to the 4th round. Wolves, they will be disappointed they weren't able to get past Swansea. Obviously, there's, you know, Swansea bottom of the Premier League. Wolves top of the Championship, looking like a Premier League team. Wolves dominated this fixture, but the main 2 talking points from this game are that there were 2 red cards. Now, Swansea's red card wasn't a red card, it was a yellow card for Fer, but I can understand why the ref gave him a red, because as a fan, when you watch fouls like this, they are so cynical. He just completely tricked him out of nowhere. Wasn't going for the ball or anything. You can understand why the ref gave him a red, because I think by that point there had been a few flash points, and I think the ref was a bit annoyed. All right, doesn't justify giving him a red, but as a fan, these are the kind of tackles you want to see reds for, because they are just so cynical and they kind of ruin the game in that sense. Obviously, I know it's tactical because they're trying to stop attacks, but if you're, you know, the team who has just been fouled, you want to see red cards for that. But yeah, anyway, that's my opinion on Fer's red card. As for Ruben's red card for Wolves, it was a red card, but I don't believe there was any maliciousness in his tackle. I just think he was a bit unlucky with his timing. Yeah, that's pretty much the 2 main talking points from that game. And then the final game I'm going to talk about, which was the other kind of big upset in terms of you know, how the game finished. All right, it was again a 0-0 draw, but Shrewsbury held West Ham. Great result for Shrewsbury. They get a good replay at obviously the London Stadium and another payday for them. But overall, I do think West Ham will go through because the replay will be at home. So yeah, there are all my thoughts on what were for me the kind of main talking points from the 3rd round of the FA Cup. Obviously, there were a lot of fixtures to go through, but these were the main ones for me that kind of had big ramifications on, you know, the tournament overall. But yeah, comment below, let me know what were your main talking points from round 3 of the FA Cup. I'm always interested to know. I'll be back in a couple of days with my Premier League Week 23 predictions, so keep an eye out for that. As always, I'm Aaron Whitnall. This has been ACW Sport. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel, and I will see you guys again soon.